It's really what this tournament is all about. Ireland and Puerto Rico for the national anthems of their respective countries standing shoulder to shoulder as they each play their final game here at the World Lacrosse Men's U21 World Championship. Thank you so much for joining us here. This, the 7th place game, a key game for both of these countries. Of course, Ireland finishing 7th in their debut in this tournament back in 2016. Trying to replicate that here. Puerto Rico making their debut here this year, trying to finish in 7th themselves. This should be a good one. Once again, we already had a double OT game in the 5th place battle between Japan and England. Japan taking 5th, England in 6th. Now, who will be in 7th? As you see, the face-off here will be a fixture with Colin Baez going up against Ireland, who has bounced back after a rough outing against Canada. Let's see if they can continue to do that as this tournament rolls on. Laureano, Foley, the men to watch. You'll be watching the face-off here in just moments. Stay tuned here to Lax Sports Network. Live to the University of Limerick we go. This, the first of the final 3 games we have for you here today. You've got the home squad, Ireland, and then, of course, the bronze and gold medal game still to come. But here we start at the face-off X with Puerto Rico and Ireland competing for 7th place. First face-off win by Colin Baez of the day. I'll be saying that, I'd imagine, a little bit more as the day goes on, so he wins that moving forward. Puerto Rico takes over on offense moving forward here. A 10-9 loss yesterday for Puerto Rico, a certainly heart-filled game, a pressure-packed affair, as was Ireland's loss 5-4 to Japan yesterday. And now they will continue to battle. These two teams have been a lot of fun to watch over the course of this tournament, and I'd imagine we'll have more fun as today goes on as well. William Mercado has come on as this tournament has, as has Joshua Balcarcel. He had 3 goals against Czech, 3 goals against England in the last couple of games as they continue here through these brackets. Puerto Rico starting in Group B, Ireland in Group C. Balcarcel out of Marist. He'll be a junior this year. Finished with 7 goals last season. Move on the inside. The shot and the score. Sean Laureano opens it up for Puerto Rico. Sean says he always tries to play with as much energy as possible. Well, he's given this offense a lot of energy over the course of this tournament. Just a high school senior here this year. That's his 7th goal. He scored a goal against England and had a goal against Czech Republic in their last 2. So he continues to tally the scoreboard. 1-0, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's first U21 World Championship appearance. Somerville and Baez as Baez chips it out to his wing there, Mercado. And a couple of face-off wins. Baez, over the course of this tournament, at 57%. He's taken the most face-offs out of anybody. That's one of the best marks of the tournament, as Brandon Aviles now takes it over here. Scored a key goal late against England yesterday. He's been excellent. The soon-to-be Syracuse senior out of Setauket, New York. He's one of the best short-stick D-middies in the nation, has to do everything for this Puerto Rico team. As placement continues here on this final day, day 11 of these U21 World Championships. Mercado finds his way out of a mess and scores. Mercado's really come along here as he's found his place in this offense and in this tournament. It's 2-0 Puerto Rico. Kind of muscling in against Matt Loftus, who's playing good defense. Just a physical shot, William Mercado. That's his 9th goal this tournament. He scored 2 against England yesterday. He had 3 against the Czech Republic the day before that. So he's got, of his 9 goals, 6 of the 9 coming in the last 3 games. And Ireland decides to take a timeout before this next face-off. So 2-0 Puerto Rico. We are just a few minutes into this 7th place affair. Back to the face-off X we go after the timeout by Tom Pryor. Looks like they wanted to mix some things up at the X against Baez, so they get Michael Songer in there to go and try and take one. He's a pole. He did take a couple against Japan, 1 for 3 there, but trying to muck it up now. Baez is going to be tough all day long. Tom Eschen here with you on the call once again. The final game of our main channel coverage on Lax Sports Network. We appreciate all of you joining us all tournament long for our comprehensive coverage of this tournament and all these games, dozens and dozens of games, several broadcasts, broadcasters, and it's really been a joy to see some of these young athletes out here, everything they've worked for the last now 6 years of their lives, all coming out with some brilliant competition. And really the quality of play, I think I've been very impressed by. For the most part, it's been pretty clean, been pretty efficient. You know, every so often getting a little chippy out there, but it's a competitive environment. Everybody fighting for these victories and their countries accordingly. Here's Jack Doherty. He had a goal against Japan yesterday. And now on the run, he takes the shot, and our first save for Jaden Algarin. Algarin, 54% over the course of this tournament. He made 7 saves against England yesterday. He's played well. Telemaco spins there to try and get the clear, and Puerto Rico will get it into their half here eventually. Well, how about that check? Ronan Walsh, he gets that ball free. And beautifully done. Ireland gets it back here. In transition, there's a shot. Just by the stick of Algarin. As we see Connor Foley for the first time get himself a shot on goal. That Japanese defense did a great job against Ireland yesterday. You know, Ireland scoring just the 4 goals. Foley getting into the act late with a goal. 18 goals, 7 assists in this tournament for Foley. That's the 7th most in this competition. Don't forget, there's 23 teams here, so a lot of players on this field, and Foley's been one of the best. He'll be a senior at UMass Lowell here in a few weeks. Looks the dish into the middle. It's deflected before it gets to Algarin. Sean Horkin making that deflection there. Ireland led by Tom Pryor, as I mentioned, the U19 head coach since 2015. Sean Mowry, the head coach of Puerto Rico. Foley's worked nicely with Aiden Dempsey, has 16 goals himself. See him flashing there to the right side as Foley looks for somebody to get open. Kind of congested there in the front with his defender Telemaco head up. Now, Algarin goes down low as Foley makes the try for the shot. He couldn't back it up either. Puerto Rico will take over offensively. Up 2-0 in this first quarter. A couple on the board for Puerto Rico to start. They beat Germany in their play-in game in that championship bracket, then fell to the U.S. Of course, U.S. and Canada seem to be a step above of everybody else. They'll play for the gold later on today, a little less than 4 hours from now. Puerto Rico then beating Czech Republic 19-7, falling to England yesterday. That would have gotten them into that 5th place game. Ireland went unbeaten in their Group C. Beat Czech Republic in the play-in. Lost 17-7 to Canada to try and get into the semifinal. A little closer than that score indicated. They really battled. Thomas Walsh back in the cage for Ireland. He was great against Japan yesterday. 11 saves, allowed just the 5 goals. Valcarcel to restart here. Puerto Rico up 2-0. Javier Carbo Colon. No goals for him over the course of this tournament just yet. Still has time. Here's Harrison Walpole. Walpole working on this Irish defense. Now it's Carbo Colon. Thwarted by Kinsella. There's a backhand shot. Backed up by Valcarcel. Look there from Fasuka. Valcarcel with that speed. He's been showing the knack of scoring and passing, and he scores here, 3-0. Valcarcel has come on for this Puerto Rican team. Born in the Bronx, Puerto Rican mother, Guatemalan father, lived on Staten Island until he was about 5. Family then moved to Milford, Pennsylvania. Played some high school basketball in Milford growing up, also was a swimmer. Football as well, and now has found a love for lacrosse, representing Puerto Rico. 3-0, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico lacrosse founded just in 2015. How quickly they have developed here on the world stage. Their senior team qualifying for the 2023 championship. Played in the 2018 one as well. This their first U21, their first junior team, if you will. And Ireland was so proud of that 7th place finish in their debut in 2016 in this level. And now Puerto Rico, I'm sure, will be just as proud with a 7th place finish themselves. That's what they're playing for here today. You see the makeup of this Puerto Rico team. A lot of talent. Vernon Jr. on the run, shoots. Walsh stops. Seems like Thomas Joe Walsh, always the equalizer for Ireland. He's kept them in some games here over the course of this tournament. They've had some times where they've been down. I mean, they trailed Jamaica and Germany, but able to come back. Of course, the atmospheres around these Team Ireland games have been always pretty great, as everybody now will fill up this hill on field 2. So they have an opportunity here. There's the pass out. There's the shot, and that shot is wide. Look there for Foley again. 5 minutes to go in the first. Puerto Rico with 3 goals on the board. Ireland still looking for their first. Out of the box comes Ben Collins. Good reach there by Dempsey. Dempsey all the way around. Dempsey scores! Dempsey held to just 2 shots against Japan. Breaks the 0 gridlock. It's 3-1. Ohio Northern Junior playing for Nat St. Laurent down there in Ohio, and he had 21 goals last year there. Now in this tournament, 17 total. He had a 5-goal game against Germany. Quick whistle here before the ensuing face-off. We do have another game going on right now. It's Wales and China. That's over on another field, field 3. That's the 17th place battle. Everything gets set and ready to go. Patrick Hill, James Hawksworth, and Patrick Greiner is our officiating crew for this one. Baez wins the clamp again. That's going to be the story of the day, the matter of the ground ball after that. Kreidler picks it up. He gets knocked back down again. Michael Songer gets a stick in there. Picked up by Jack Galvin, the short stick D-Midi. Foley now working on that left side. And now Dempsey to settle things up on top. Ireland did commit 8 penalties against Japan in their last game. That came back to haunt them a bit. Couldn't take advantage of Japan's 3. They certainly made it interesting in the end. They scored 2 goals in about the matter of 20 seconds to make it a 1-goal game. Had a couple opportunities late, just fell a little bit short. Really showed a lot of their heart, though. 3-1, back into the stick of Foley. Foley goes around. Foley, the backhand score! The blind goal for Connor Foley makes it 3-2. Wow. Maybe a little peek over his shoulder, but he didn't see much of that. Oh, man. Foley's 19th of this tournament. Dynamic offensively. He's been a leader for UMass Lowell for a while. He's been a leader of this team all tournament long. What a goal there. A 200-point score in both hockey and lacrosse in high school, Connor Foley. Love that. Baez wins it all here. Tries to chip it back out. Actually loses the ball in the process. Picked up, though, by Fasuka. Spins around. Now he goes towards the cage. Gets it over to Mercado. He shoots. Vasuka does shoot, excuse me. He gets it back over to Balcarcel. Can he save it? He does. Puerto Rico keeps possession here. 1-goal game, just like that. Vasuka's also been good. 84 in white. 7 goals, 2 assists. 3 minutes to go in the first. Brandon Aviles on the run. He shoots. It'll be Mercado to restart. Mercado working his way around. Walsh meets him. Mercado looking for that upper left corner, and Walsh saw him all the way. Foley comes down with that ground ball. Ireland can now tie on this possession. See what Foley has in store this time around. Heard a whistle on the other field. I think that made him hesitate for a bit, and now he'll continue to work on Nelson Telemaco. Now he feeds the front. Backhand grounder. Algarin met it. You can kind of tell here that there's this is the last game. Everybody's kind of throwing some different shots in this. They're having some fun at the very least. Procedural penalty called against Puerto Rico here. 30-second penalty. It'll be now in the first, 43 seconds to go. So Aviles will step off. First man up opportunity of the day for Ireland. Puerto Rico has committed a lot of penalties, 3rd most penalty minutes of this tournament. But Algarin's been good in them for goal for them. He makes another stop. We had a penalty on Ireland that time, so we'll be back at even strength. And now the hat has flown off with the head of our official. It is breezy, 15 to 20 mile per hour winds, gusting into the 30s. I mean, yesterday we had winds in the 40s. It was howling out there at times. So, 5-on-5 lacrosse for a few seconds here. 3-2 Puerto Rico. Short time in the first. Puerto Rico should have a few seconds of a man up. I don't know if it'll be enough to give them a real advantage. Balcarcel, though, looking to start something himself here offensively, working on Morin. Looks to the middle to Aviles, gets through, picked up by Ireland. Back the other way they come. And that's the final whistle of the first quarter. Puerto Rico, a 3-2 lead. Ireland sticking right there with them. You're watching the Men's U21 World Championship on Lax Sports Network. We begin the second quarter. Ireland, a few more seconds of a man up, so no face-off, which helps them certainly. Baez, I believe, was 7 for 8 so far here today. So Ireland at least gets possession to start this second quarter. 3-2 the score. Puerto Rico jumping out to a 3-0 lead. Ireland's got the last 2 goals, settling in now to the 7th place affair. We've seen in these placement games how passionate these players are. So don't think, oh, 7th. I mean, every single spot is important for these countries. They've been working for this for a long time. And all these athletes trying to make their mark accordingly. And Ireland able to score to start the second. Didn't take long here as they were able to cash in pretty quickly. And just a tiny little back cut by Kevin Somerville as he continues to stay hot. Somerville scored yesterday against Japan. Don't forget, Ireland only scored a couple goals against Japan. 4 in total, and he had a big day against Germany back on Thursday. He had 5 against Germany, 2 against Canada. So Kevin Somerville from Colorado College tallies a score, 3-3 now, all tied up as Baez, of course, wins that faceoff. He's just been so good there. He's now 7 for 8 today. Everyone's back to even strength here, 6-on-6 lacrosse. Valcarcel now trying to dictate here, working his guys into position. Fasuka looks down to Valcarcel once again. He gets it out to Sean Laureano, spins. Sean goes to gather it, and it's picked up here by Patrick McKee. McKee works it out to Kinsella, excuse me. There's Ireland, and it gets another stop defensively. So after Puerto Rico really came out like gangbusters, they've been shut down for the last half of the first quarter and now the first few minutes of the second as well. Ireland doing a good job defensively here. Aiden Kearns coming out of the box. Now it's Foley with possession here, working on the left side. He's got Telemaco on him. Foley now into the middle, shoots on the run, and he scores again. Quick release from Connor Foley. Ireland takes the 4-3 lead. They've scored 4 straight. A little bit of the pick there. Telemaco has to go underneath and doesn't close out in time. Really tough to get there in time with a guy like Foley shooting it. Walpole, Massachusetts, where Foley hails from, but said he was excited about the opportunity to have that impact on the next generation of lacrosse players in Ireland in this tournament. Certainly, he's gotten himself a lot of fans out there in Limerick this week. Back to the face-off X we go. Ireland now a 4-3 lead. Scooped back by Baez. He and Aviles have worked together pretty well here over the course of this tournament. A Jacksonville sophomore, a Syracuse senior. They did an interview on Lax Sports Network, if you want to go check that out. Travis Eldridge spoke with them before the tournament started. Really good stuff there. Mercado gets himself some space. Aviles skip pass, tried to get it through the middle. He could not do so. Kinsella picks it up. Ball jars free. Who is going to pick it up? Foley gets himself in there. You can tell he's going to leave it all out there today. Tough kid. Ball now in the stick of Aiden Dempsey. To make our way here through the second quarter. Walsh has the ball here towards that back end line. Working on that short stick matchup. Takes a fake high. Now over to Foley. Foley looks, goes through, avoids a check. Now to the middle to Dempsey, and that is bounced off the post. Picked up again by Foley. He feeds the crease. Walsh stopped by Algren again. Couple of big saves for Jaden. Plucked back out of there by Kreidler, who is able to get that ground ball. Hit. Ball removed. Back into the stick of Ireland it goes. And Sean Horkin. After all that, Ireland keeps possession. Couple of great saves by Algren. Foley again getting space and scoring. Hat trick in the first half for Connor Foley. 5-3 Ireland. Man, is he quick, that first step. Just needs a bit of a window. You talk about accuracy while in almost a full sprint. Foley to that right far post and a beautiful shot at that. Ireland on a run, 5 straight. Timeout here in the second quarter. I misspoke there right before the break. It's been 4 of the last 5 goals by Ireland. It just feels like everything's been tilting their way. Feels like they're on a pretty big run. And they have. They've taken the lead. It's 5-3 here, forcing a Puerto Rico timeout in the second quarter. We're just about 3 minutes shy of halftime, by the way. As there's another win, and that's been the thing here today, is that Puerto Rico has dominated the faceoff X. 9 of 10 there, but they haven't been able to cash in, especially here in the second quarter. Don't forget, they led 3-2 after one, have not scored in the second. Vernon Jr., the shot on the inside, up over the top of the post. Ireland gets possession. Ireland gets it back here, trying to work the clear. Into the middle we go. Ireland going to take over offensively. So Ireland up 5-3 here with the ball on their offensive zone. Foley, who has a hat trick in the first half. He's been excellent so far. Dempsey now over here working from behind. Tries to work his way through. Short time here, just a couple minutes to go in this first half. Of course, we will stop it below 30 seconds. I hope you know the rules by now if you've been with us all tournament long. Running time until 30 seconds or less. That's popped free. Couple times, and now a battle here for the ground ball ensues, picked up by Jack Doherty. Bit unsettled here with Somerville. And a little bit of a crossover there from Foley underneath. He looks to feed. There's a shot that's wide. Foley to get going once again. Foley. Here comes the defense. Everybody watching him now. And now the defense continues to swarm around each and every one of these Irish players, including the ball. Back to Alger, and it goes. Ireland now on the ride. Algerin got a little tricky there and gets it back. Good thing Mateo was paying close attention. Mateo can't pick it up. Now he does. So Puerto Rico down 2. Haven't scored since about 8 minutes. Good look. And Vernon finishes. Marcel Vernon Jr. gets the goal and cuts the lead to 1. 5-4. Vernon Jr. getting his 6th goal this tournament. He had 2 against the Czech Republic. Didn't score against England yesterday, but he gets on the board here today.
5 minutes remaining in the half. 5.
Baez once again wins the faceoff. Somerville does a great job of chopping through that, but Puerto Rico still getting it offensively here. And now they have a chance to tie here with a couple minutes to go in the second quarter. Aviles has given them some sparks as has Mercado. As Puerto Rico looks to tie it up, trying to do so, but unable to do so. Here comes Ireland back on the other end. On the fast break, Jack Galvin, he's got the wheels, as you would say. Foley will gather it as Ireland looks to get here a goal late in this first half. Dempsey looking over to the middle. There's a shot and a score. 6-4 Ireland. What a run here between the first and the second. It's Sean Horkin, his 7th goal. Dempsey got all sorts of attention, as he deservedly does. And then what a finish around his defender for Sean Horkin there. Dempsey adds an assist to go along with his goal. Horkin, a high school junior coming up this year. One of the youngest players out there. And now the face-off. It's Baez winning again. Can Puerto Rico turn it into scoring? That's the question here. They did get a goal from Vernon. Lacrosse now here with possession. Six to 4 the score. Ireland with this 2-goal lead in this 7th place game. One of the last few games here in Ireland on day 11, the last day of this tournament. Erden Jr., he's so quick. Great first step. Masuka kicks it back out. There's a long shot. Lacrosse is wide, and it's backed up by Ireland. A nice job there. Kinsella being in the right place at the right time. Can Galvin pick up this ground ball? That's a question that usually he answers with that response. And here he comes to get it into the offensive end for Ireland. And Ireland will call a timeout.
Ireland takes a timeout with 1 minute, 18 seconds.
1 minute, 18 seconds to go in the first half. They've got a 2-goal lead. We'll step aside for a break and be right back. All right, timeout in the books for Tom Pryor. Talked things over with his staff. And now Ireland, the ball. 1:18 to go here in the first half. Will they look for the last shot is the question. They have a 2-goal lead. Thundering back after a 3-2 deficit at the end of the first. It's been a good game.
1 minute remaining in the half.
1 minute to go as that's shot into the middle, and Algarin able to make the save. And getting the backup is Puerto Rico, so they get the stop out of the timeout.
50 seconds.
50 seconds to play. Out to Ross. One of their short stick D-mids. 3 green shirts around him. What a check by Sean Loftus.
40 seconds.
The 19-year-old from McLean, Virginia. Now here's Foley. Foley kicks it back out. Walsh hounded by a couple of Puerto Rico players. And Puerto Rico comes back out with it. And a flag, looks like it's in the air by our officiating crew. See how long this will be for. That's a 30-second. So Puerto Rico gets the ball here to end the half. Down 2.
With 18 seconds remaining
So
in the
18
half.
seconds on the clock, 30 seconds on the penalty. I mean, Puerto Rico, they don't really need the benefit of the ball to start the third. They've gotten the ball each and every time, it feels like, after Baez. But it looks like they're going to try and do that. They'll have 12 seconds to start the second half with a man up. So maybe they just want that momentum, want the assured ball to begin the second half. Down 2. They don't want to give it away either. That'll do it for the first half of play. Ireland, a 6-4 lead here in the 7th place game. 30 minutes to play in Ireland. You're watching the World Lacrosse Men's U21 World Championships on Lax Sports Network. Third quarter is just upon us here in Ireland. Welcome back, one and all, to this 7th place affair. A 6-4 lead for Ireland as Puerto Rico started with the ball thanks to a penalty at the end of the first half. Probably would have started with it anyway. Baez 11 for 12 with the faceoff back so far. So Ireland has outshot Puerto Rico 18-11. Jaden Algarin, 7 saves in his first half. Let's see what Puerto Rico can do with his first possession. Look in front, Davile scores. 6-5, just like that, it's a 1-goal game. Brandon Aviles, who had 3 goals against Team USA, now scoring his 12th of this tournament.
Puerto Rico 5, Ireland 6 is your score.
So Aviles gets his goal. It's 6-5 now here as we are just underway in this third quarter. The final day of lacrosse here in Ireland. In this tournament, that is. Of course, with them bringing this junior championship now, U21, to this area, they hope there'll be a whole lot of lacrosse after this from the youth on up, helping to grow the game in a place they love so much, with a sport they love so much here. Arbo Colon picks that up as Puerto Rico wins yet another faceoff. They do have that going for them. They've won the majority of those, so that should keep them in this throughout, as it has. And now trailing by 1 with possession for the second straight time to begin this third quarter. Even strength, 6-on-6. Spread out. Puerto Rico, 5 different goal scorers so far here today. A hat trick for Connor Foley on the other end for Ireland. Aviles to get going here. They're aware of that. Now he'll back it up and look to restart. He does just that, looking to Balcarcel down here behind the cage, and they'll call the offside here against Puerto Rico. So they give it away. Ireland gets the ball back. Ireland now working to clear. Like I said, they have more shots than Puerto Rico today, so offensively they've been able to get some off. Of course, yesterday they were stifled by that Japanese defense as Japan went on in double overtime to beat England today in the 5th place game. So Japan, for the first time in 26 years, a 5th place finish, their best. It's their first tournament since 2008. Great finish, great summer for Japan lacrosse. As our placement continues here with the 7th place game, which is where Ireland fit in their first appearance in this tournament back in 2016. Puerto Rico in their first appearance ever here in 2022. As you can see, they're primed, locked, and loaded. They really make an impact on the international stage for years to come. Foley, quick release. Goes down, comes back, pops right back up again. Now here's Foley again, looking to do maybe the same thing again. He works his way around to the middle, tries to get his hands free. The shot flies in as a flag flies down. Foley's got 4 goals. 7-5 as Ireland responds. I mean, it can't get much more difficult if you're Connor Foley than that. You got sticks all over him. So we get back to the face-off X as Ireland has been efficient when they've gotten the ball, getting shots off and getting scores too. Here as we sit, and day 11. Somerville back in there to face Baez. Baez ends up on his back, like a wrestling move. And some face-off guys do come as wrestlers, so That is a bit natural for them, as that will be Puerto Rico possession. Somerville High School football team captain growing up in Baltimore, Maryland. Mercado gets it into the offensive end for Puerto Rico. Can they solve Walsh? Can they solve this defense? It's been a struggle to. Scoring 3 goals in the first quarter. They have just 2 since then. Seen the Ireland offense go to work a lot more than they did yesterday against Japan, looking more like the Irish we've seen over the course of this tournament. Lacrosse with its origins in 1872 in Ireland. Here in 2022, they're hosting a World Championship event. I know how hard they have worked to get this championship and now put it on. Ukros into the middle, hands free, scores. They just needed some space, and Diego Ukros gets some. 7-6. He's come on as of late. 2 goals against the Czech Republic on Thursday. And this is his 5th goal of the tournament today. A Florida State University junior. He plays MCLA. They're entering his 3rd season as an MCLA player. He's from San Juan, Puerto Rico. And once again, a 1-goal game. All of these matchups here in this 5th place bracket these last 2 days have been so good. We have been really lucky. So competitive. Somerville and Baez back at it. Somerville came in and took the majority of the faceoffs yesterday. Did pretty well at that. Went 5 for 9 against Japan. But it's Baez and Puerto Rico winning the faceoff again. Like I said, that can add up, and that's what's going to keep Puerto Rico in this, despite Ireland's efficiency on offense. Like I said, Puerto Rico got some space there to get that last goal. Vernon Jr. looking to get some himself. Work it around the top here as Aviles looks to get free. He cannot for the moment. Songer, Michael Songer, Jack Songer injured for this one. And that's something else to note is no Christian Laureano today. He's been one of the best scorers in the tournament for Puerto Rico. He had those 7 goals against the Czech Republic. Talked about him at the Open, but he has not been on the field all day long, which, of course, impacts Puerto Rico offensively. Foley with the 4 goals today. 22 now in the tournament. 7-6 here, about midway through this 3rd quarter. Liam Horkin just graduated from Belmont Hill School in Massachusetts. Going to be a Conn College freshman. Fakes, skip pass, shot. Loftus is wide. Algren went to back it up, unable to get there in time, so it's Foley to restart. So shifty, feed to the middle, fake, shot, score. Sean Horkin second, Foley's got an assist. Ireland responds again. It's 8-6. This is really nice once again by Foley. Just breaking down his man, and you know the attention of the defense, of course, is going to go his direction. He's having a big day trying to propel Ireland to that 7th place finish. Eight to 6 here for the Irish. Baez winning the clamp, comes out, wins his ground ball, moving forward. Maybe a chance here in transition. He's looking for it in transition. He shoots. Walsh is right there to get it up, so here he comes. Back on the counter comes Ireland. Kinsella will gather it in the offensive end. Somerville in the middle. That's knocked down as he tried to get it through. Avila's got a stick in there. I have to remind you, Avila is one of the best short stick D-middies in the nation in the ACC last year. So good for Syracuse. 32 ground balls, 9 caused turnovers, and he's, of course, been asked to do some more offensively, defensively here for Team Puerto Rico, and he's delivered. Answered the call. His cousin, Joe Scally, plays in the Bundesliga in soccer. Also a U.S. men's national team member. Another great look for Foley and another score. Horkins got a hat trick. What a pass with a finish. And this is just Foley once again. And you know, you score 4 goals, the defense is going to start looking at you. That's 3 white defenders coming after him. And good job by Horkin just getting himself open there. 4 goals, 2 assists for Connor Foley today. And now it's 9-6 Ireland. Opening up things on offense after a struggle yesterday. They've come alive today. Now Somerville going for the check off the face-off. They went pretty high with that check. And they're going to call a violation against him there. So Puerto Rico gets the ball back once again. This has been a fascinating game when it comes to some of these stats and the way it's gone. But Ireland right now with the lead. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Mercado. Mercado down the alley he goes. Looks to kick it back out. Ukros takes the shot. Ukros's shot is wide. Backed up there, Balcarcel behind the cage. We'll get things going again. Ukros tries again. Walsh down there to get it. Joe Walsh, once again, stout in goal. Making some big saves all day long. Now they get it out to Aiden Dempsey on the offensive end. Ireland looking for this lead to grow. Their women taking 13th at the World Championships in Towson, Maryland back in June. Of course, you probably know the story of the Sixes in which they pulled out to allow room for Team Iroquois to come in and play. Foley tried to feed that in front again. Gets bopped away. Dempsey now surveys, looks over the middle, and Aiden Kearns will get it up top. Ireland in control in this third. 9-6 the score. Kearns has a couple goals in the 7 games so far. There's Ben Collins getting a run in there. Gets it knocked away. Who else picks it up but Foley? And Foley's going to go towards the goal. Here comes Foley towards the goal. Gets blocked before it gets there. Laying out Marcus Kreidler in that case. And it will be getting the back up there. Algren, great hustle getting out of the cage. He listed 6 feet, 230. Oh, hustle there by the goalie from Goucher. Puerto Rico does get there. I mean, I did not know that was going to happen. Sean Laureano picked it up. But turned back over. Michael Songer picks it up himself. Sean Loftus going through the middle. Ireland looking to work quickly here. Kinsella. Here's some of the whistles on field 3 right now. We have, of course, more games taking place as this day goes on. Wales and China are battling it out for 17th place as we speak. As the placement of this final day continues. We've already had some great performances by newcomers. Netherlands winning the platinum bracket, beating Hong Kong to finish in 13th. Latvia, 19th place with a win over Kenya. Jamaica, 9th place. They beat Israel in that 9th place game in their first Junior World Championship appearance. Time winding down here in the third. The pass, the shot, the score. And did they need that? Mercado to Fasuka. It's 9-7. It feels like this is the recipe for Puerto Rico right now, trying to give themselves some space. A little bit of a back screen there from Sean Laureano. And Fasuka gets his 8th goal of the tournament. Big goal heading into the 4th. Waiting here for the ensuing faceoff. Just a couple seconds remaining here. I believe I have it as 5 seconds to go. Maybe they can get something quick. Of course, Baez has won quite a few cleanly here today. 15 of 16 so far. He wins this. He's going to be 16 of 17 heading into the 4th. Lets one loose as the final seconds tick off the clock. 15 minutes to go here between Ireland and Puerto Rico in the 7th place game. You're watching the World Lacrosse Men's U21 World Championships on Lax Sports Network. This is it. Last 15 minutes of the tournament for Ireland and Puerto Rico. It's 9-7 in this 7th place affair. A spirited affair at that. Puerto Rico not going the way. Baez looking to win another faceoff. He's 16 for 17, but a rare loss gives the ball to Ireland here to start this 4th quarter. For now, it is picked up by Michael Songer eventually, so Ireland wins the faceoff. A good start to the 4th for them, as we are off and running in this 4th quarter at these World Lacrosse Men's U21 World Championships. Tom Eschen here with you on the call, as that's grabbed by Bob Balcarcel. He's able to kick it back out. Chaos in front results in the score. Ireland couldn't clear it. Fasuka, the recipient. It's a 1-goal game. Balcarcel came out there and was able to pick off the pass, diving pass to Fasuka, who scores his 2nd. It's a 1-goal game. So you count faceoffs one way or another. Ireland wins the faceoff. They never get it in their offensive zone. What a ride by Puerto Rico. They are not going away, are they? Ireland sticking the pole out there against Baez. And Aviles picks it up. So Puerto Rico does win the next one. Here comes Aviles. Aviles using some of that physicality, now bumped back out. Just a couple minutes into this 4th. 9-8 our score. Both these teams fighting for 7th place. They work it around. The shot and another one. 9-9. How about that? As Fasuka has a hat trick. What a start to the 4th. Came into this game with 7 goals total. Now he's got 10 in the tournament. Double digits. Richmond Hawks High School, Owen Fasuka. Fasuka has the natural hat trick. He scored the last goal, don't forget, of the 3rd quarter. So he's got 3 in a row, all on his own. The last 2 assisted by Balcarcel. And here we are, 9-9 in the 7th place game. Another tight one here on field 2. Michael Songer back out there against Baez. Baez tried to go forward without the ball. Michael Songer able to get it back for Ireland here. They do get a possession without having to get a stop first. It's Foley. 4 goals, 2 assists today for Connor Foley. Another outstanding game. Will it be enough? Foley looks over the middle, up right in front. That ball gets wide. Past the cage it goes. Quick restart here for Ireland. Dempsey looking to the middle. The turn, the shot. Knocked down first there by Colin Bermudez. Picked up by Zelenik. Puerto Rico gets the stop. Now they have the ball, looking to take the lead. Vernon Jr., that speed, and he gets it to Laureano for the score. They respected the speed so much of Vernon Jr. We've seen him do this during the tournament. And then Sean Laureano, Johnny on the spot. Great dish and a great finish. And now Puerto Rico has taken a 10-9 lead. Sean Laureano, 2 goals today. Had goals against England and the Czech Republic, and now filling the void left by his brother Christian. Not in action here. Christian, 18 goals, but still Puerto Rico double digits today. 10-9 over Ireland. They've scored 3 straight in this fourth. Procedural penalty there on Baez, and now Ireland gets it back. That's 4 in a row, by the way, for Puerto Rico over the course of this third and into the fourth. 10 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. And Aiden Dempsey will get it out. Working it over to Sean Loftus. Excuse me, that was Foley. Ireland maybe trying to calm things down, use Foley to isolate and open something up. It's worked so well for them today. Working that stick in and out, and he's got a couple of white shirts following him. Can he find the open man? They do. Dempsey inside to Horkin. Horkin has a hat trick today. The restart here for Ireland. Back where it belongs, in the stick of Connor Foley. 9:30 to go here. 7th place game. A lot on the line. Pass goes through all the bodies and will go out of bounds. And picked up by Puerto Rico. Quickly back the other way we go. Fasuka, the natural hat trick. Out of the box comes Mercado. Mercado the speed. Puerto Rico trailing 9-7 heading into this quarter. They have thundered back. Aviles, what a shot! 11-9. 2 goals today for Brandon Aviles. It's a 2-goal lead for Puerto Rico. He absolutely launches this one. Man, top right corner. Scored 3 goals in college this past year. He's got 13 in the tournament. 8:05 to go. Puerto Rico a 2-goal lead. Trying to do what Ireland did in their first appearance back in 2016 and finish 7th. And we'll get timeout here on the field. Everybody will talk things over, and so will we. We'll be right back. 11-9 Puerto Rico, 8 minutes to play. Back live here at the University of Limerick, Ireland's sporting campus, and what a campus it's been to house these athletes who have come together for this lacrosse tournament that usually happens every 4 years. It was every 6 years this time around, delayed twice due to the pandemic. But what an experience it's been, players, coaches, fans alike in Ireland. 11-9, Puerto Rico trailed 9-6 at one point in the third quarter. They now lead 11-9. Face-off won by Colin Baez. Gets it taken away by Songer. That's why you put a pole out there. Horton gets it back. And now let's see if Ireland can clear. Big part of this run was that failed clear. And now Ireland will get it back on the offensive end. We've had a few stops for Puerto Rico. That's helped them during this run. Been a great first appearance for Puerto Rico. And, of course, Ireland's had a blast playing in front of their home fans on home soil. Action's been outstanding, especially the last couple days here. We've had 1-goal games, overtime games, double OT games. Ball kicked out to Doherty. Doherty can't get it at first. Goes to track it down. almost taken away. Doherty somehow kept that in the stick. Good check by Kreidler. Now he feeds over the middle. Shot by Somerville. Algarin able to stop it before it went past the line. He gets the save, his 8th save of the day. 7:30 to go, midway through this fourth quarter. Vasuka brings it into Puerto Rico offensive territory as they work to continue to grow this lead and continue this run. And Vasuka can't grab that in time, so that will go out of bounds. Ball goes back to Team Ireland here. 6 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Working, going to work his way over back into the Puerto Rico territory. Settles himself, gets the advancement, and now we continue here. We'll stop the clock below 2 minutes in the fourth. Sean Loftus looks into the middle. There's a quick shot by Dempsey, and he scores. 11-10. Loftus to Dempsey. It's a one-goal game. Dempsey now 18 goals in the tournament, 2 goals with an assist to go along with that today. That's Loftus's second assist for the 19-year-old. Mother born and raised just outside of Dublin. His family visits there quite often. He was a part of the European World Championship squad in 2019, that U20 squad that you see a lot of players, especially the European ones at that, were involved in. He's one of them. 11-10. Continues to stay close. Tension continues to build. Beautiful evening now settling in here in Limerick. 20 of 5 p.m. local time. 4:30 to go. 11-10, Puerto Rico with a lead. The winner gets 7th, the loser 8th. Mercado to back it up as they look for that space. Been a great adjustment in the second half. You've seen the spacing work out really well. Mercado, though, can't complete his dodge, taken away by Ireland. And now an opportunity. Songer continues the run. He continues the run in transition, and now out to Kinsella, who will settle things down for Ireland. Kinsella feeding the crease. They tried to work it across quickly. Now the ball bouncing free. Foley, of course, goes to pick it up. He has been everywhere.
3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
3:30 to go. 1-goal game. Both these teams stood side by side for the opening national anthems. Such a cool moment. Now they're battling it out till the very end. Gets away. Now Somerville picks it up. Deflected in front by a Puerto Rico defender. In there, just avoiding a penalty, too, was Kreidler. Puerto Rico's done a good job of avoiding penalties today. And I mentioned that. 3rd most penalty minutes coming into this game. They have just 2 today. That's been huge. Foley harassed here. And as I say that, there's a flag that's going to fly. Foley is not pleased. He might get called. He's got to be careful here. He's upset that they stopped the play, maintaining that he was still going towards the goal. I think he might have had a point. And that's just a 30-second penalty. But still, at that, Ireland's going to get a man up here. Yeah, Foley thought he maybe was going to be able to keep on going and make that move towards the goal, but the officials deemed that he was not doing enough of that in that situation, so they stopped play. Ireland still with the man up. Can they cash in and convert? Doherty, a couple steps, backs it up. Foley over to Somerville. Loses it for a moment. Actually, Dempsey to Somerville. Now back to Foley we go. 5 on the clock of the penalty, that is. Couple steps. Oh, crease pass and stopped by Algarin. Somerville on the doorstep. Algarin makes a huge save. Penalty release, back to 6-on-6. Foley works his wing inside, dives, and is it a goal? It is! His 5th of the day, ties it at 11. Connor Foley coming up clutch. 5 goals, 2 assists. They are Academy product. Laying it all out on the line as we're knotted 11-11. Less than 2 minutes to play. 1 minute, 32 seconds to go. Could we be headed to another overtime? We had 2 OTs in our first game on this field earlier today between Japan and England. It was Japan in the second that got the win, and now Ireland getting a face-off win, a rare win at that. Ireland led 9-6 in the third. Puerto Rico a 5-goal run, 11-9 win, and now Ireland takes the lead themselves. How about that? It is Dempsey, a hat trick. It's 12-11. The Irish with a flurry of activity here on their home field. With 1 minute, 13 seconds to go, Aiden Dempsey gets his 3rd of the day. Now 19 goals in the tournament for the Silver Spring, Maryland native. Doing it in Ireland with that flag on his shoulder. Huge face-off here. Baez wins it going back. Aviles comes in from the wing, and he does pick it up. So Puerto Rico down 1, gets possession, and we'll get a timeout. Sean Mowry will talk things over here with his team. They trail by 1. 12-11 the score. Close one here in Ireland to finish out. Welcome back here live at the University of Limerick. Before we get set to finish this thing off, just want to thank everybody involved, and that includes everybody from Ireland Lacrosse who put this together, all the teams, the players, the coaches, the PR people from all these different countries from around the world to help us bring this to you over this last week and a half. I've gotten the pleasure of doing 21 games here in 11 days, and it has been a thrill for me, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for following along and helping us celebrate these athletes and all the hard work they've put in over the course of their lives for this moment. And you can see how much it means to them. It certainly means a lot to us as well. We got a big game, a big possession here for Puerto Rico. Down 12-11, a minute to play. Here comes Mercado down the alley. 50 seconds on the clock. The feed in the middle gets away briefly from Fasuka. Now a big battle for the ground ball. It gets kicked back out to the center of the field. It goes. Horton, Ridley Horton picks it up. And a timeout by Tom Pryor. So Ireland gets the stop. They get the ball back. And they get a timeout with possession here. Less than a minute to play. A few seconds away, possibly from another 7th place finish. One last huddle here for the home team on Irish soil, and I can say I was there when it was announced that Ireland would be hosting these championships. That was back in January of 2019. It's been a long road. Michael Kennedy, the CEO of Ireland Lacrosse, will tell you that for sure. A hectic one, but they certainly have put on a great tournament, and it's been a thrill to be here with you throughout this journey as we've continued to check in over the years, even with the pandemic stoppages. And here we are in 2022, final game for the home team, Ireland, here as they try to run out this clock to clinch 7th place. 30 seconds on the clock here for Ireland. Working it around is Michael Songer. That was Jack Galvin, excuse me. I should have known that. Galvin, some of the best feet on the field. 15 seconds on the clock for Ireland. Puerto Rico is going to have to push and press. They lost the lead for a few. They get it back behind some heroics. Connor Foley, 5 goals, 2 assists today. And the final whistles sound here in Ireland as the home team on their home soil clinched 7th place for the second time in these junior championships. 12-11 the final in thrilling fashion over Puerto Rico, who poured out their hearts in this tournament and certainly have set themselves up for success here as the years go on, as now they'll continue to dance and sing here in Ireland. They repeat their 7th place finish 6 years later here in 2022. The solidarity, the camaraderie, the competition. Once again, what a way to celebrate these athletes and to celebrate this sport. Thank you once again for joining us for our comprehensive coverage of these U21 World Championships. It's been a thrill to bring these games to you and see exactly what the world has to offer when it comes to lacrosse. And from seeing these young athletes, I can tell you the future is certainly bright. Well, that'll wrap up 11 days of coverage here from the University of Limerick in Ireland. For the rest of our team, John McLean, Michael Cohen, and our staff, I'm Tom Eschen. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.